It looks like most of everybody is pretty much from the Yay area, so we representing. Hey, yes. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring up my slides, and I want to make sure. Just give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. All right, awesome. Okay, great. Put this down here. Actually. Okay, I want to make sure you guys can see me. All right, so welcome to the workshop today. I'm actually going to start with just an introduction about myself, and who I am. I'm Carwana Dyson. I'm actually, I grew up in San Francisco. I'm from Louisiana originally by birth, but I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area. Been here for over like 40 something years. So I'm the owner of She's Got Goals, which is a consulting and coaching firm that empowers and helps women and minority entrepreneurs with just setting up their business, but also developing strategies that will help them grow their business significantly. So I also am the owner of Big Mouth Productions, which is a multimedia production firm that provides video, photo, web, and graphic design services. And that is the company that I have successfully grown using government contracts, which led me to open up my consulting firm to help other minorities accomplish the things that I've accomplished in business. And so I'm going to share a little bit more overall throughout the training today, but basically I went from a struggling business that, when I first started, that didn't know really my market share. I didn't really understand the whole business strategy, about how it works and how to get consistent income as a small business. And so I know that a lot of small business owners have that in common, to where, okay, we're new, like we're little, we're small. We don't really have that marketing budget to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get our brand out there. And so we find ourselves in this rut of chasing customers and having to convince them to purchase from us, and spending several hours on social media just to try to get a customer. And so this strategy that I'm going to teach you today is how I've been able to get past that, right? To not have to chase customers down, but also but have to experience the opportunity of where customers are coming after me, and not just any customers. We're talking about top paying customers that are quality. And I'm going to share that strategy with you today. So here's exactly what you're going to learn. You're going to learn how to land 5 to 6 figure contracts with government agencies, right? So that you can have consistent and sustainable income as a small business. I think that's very important as small businesses to have that consistent income, so that we can stay self-employed and working for ourselves, right? So you're also going to learn these 3 parts of that. How much the government spends on your products and services. I think that's very important, because most people don't even know that they can have the government agencies as their customer. And so, or that they even purchase the services or products that you have. And so I'm going to show you exactly how to look up that information and how to find out how much the government spends exactly on what you do, and then where to find contracting opportunities. So we're going to actually do a live training on where to go to find that opportunity, and what you need to do to qualify to land some of these contracts for your own business. Looks like somebody came unmuted. I'm just going to, oh, that's Serena. Hi, Serena. Okay.
Hello, I just muted myself.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, so these are the things that we're going to cover, and this is just like a small segment of what I teach in like a bigger program that I have, but this is very powerful information. And of course, this information you can actually take and implement on your own into your own business. But what I like to do before I get into all of those great nuggets, I really always like to start with the basic business foundation, because I think it's very key, right? If you're building your house on sinking sand, it's going to fold, it's going to fall, right? So it's the same with business. I always like to start with the business foundation, because the foundation of your business is going to determine how far you can go in business, especially for small businesses, because you want to build a strong foundation, not only so that you can leverage it as a vehicle for building wealth, right? For generating wealth, but that you'll have a something that's long-term that's going to generate income for years to come. And so I always like to start with that business foundation. And so some of the things we're going to cover in your business foundation is how to start your business, right? So this is, just think of it as a live free business assessment, basically. Because I know that some businesses, some of you are probably further along than others. Some are just starting, some are just having a side business, as a hustle or whatever. But I think it's very important that we all are on the same page with what foundations or what things go into your foundation so that you can build a strong business and not only be able to get these contracts, but also to leverage that business to generate business income and also build business credit and so on and so forth. So
I'm sorry. Can we jump in at any time to ask a question?
No, I'm actually gonna have a moment where I ask if you guys have any questions. Who is that? Is that Liz?
I sell it. I'm pushing things on really through my phone, so I'm hoping I'm not doing anything to disrupt what you're saying.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So yeah, I'm gonna mute everybody, but I'll unmute you guys at the point where I'm gonna open it up for questions. So please write down your questions because I don't want you to forget them, but definitely hold them until that Q&A part of the workshop so that we can get through this in a timely manner, and then I'll get to the questions that you may have. So okay, so the three parts of your business foundation that I'm going to cover today is starting a business, branding your business, and of course growing your business with this strategy that I'm going to teach you about government contracts. So here we go. We're starting your business. Okay, my favorite quote, and I always share this with Tony Gaskins, is if you don't build your dreams, someone else would hire you to help them build theirs, right? And that is so true. So if you're working for someone else and not for yourself, or if you're working for yourself, but also have a regular 9-to-5 job, then you're helping them build their dreams. So don't forget about your dreams and don't let them stay deferred, right? So building a strong foundation starts with having an EIN. That is like a social security number for your business. It's very important for you to have that EIN because it helps you to build an entity that is separate from your own personal social security number. So having that entity, right? With this entity, you can build business credit, get business loans, and so on and so forth. And I'll go more into that. But also, it's free to get that EIN number at irs.gov, right? So there's some companies that, will charge a couple $100 to get that EIN for you. But if you go to irs.gov, type in EIN, it takes you about 20 to 30 minutes to get it and you're set. The second important number for you to have when it comes to getting grants for your business, any federal funding, any business loans, and as well as any federal contracts is the DMB number. You can get that for free as well at dashboard.dmb.com/register. But it's very important to have this because that DMB number is like, it keeps track of the funding that you're getting, but also like your business credit score. And I'm going to go more into that in just a moment. But also I'm going to cover the types of business structures, that you can get into. Wait, I'm muting. Okay. Which includes like the sole proprietorship, as well as, let's see if I can go back. Sorry, you guys. A sole proprietorship, as well as your incorporation and nonprofit status. But also, I wanted to share a little bit about these structures. So sole proprietorship, basically, you're looking at yourself as your business. So all the liability lies on you and not your business. So anything besides a sole proprietorship is considered an entity that's separate from you. And that's when, you want to get into like, business credit, business loans, and things of that nature, because it doesn't rely upon you having perfect credit to get those loans and the funding that you need for your business. But one of the things I do want to cover is why small business is so important, especially here in the U.S., is because this is some research that was done in 2016. So these numbers have grown since then. However, in California, small businesses make up over 4 million of the business, right? Businesses here in the United States. So that's over 99.8%, almost 100% of all the businesses or in the United States are considered small businesses. And basically by the SBA threshold, any business that has under 500 employees or is making, under about 14 million is considered a small business. However, there are some businesses that fall well below 500 employees and well below 14 million, and those are considered micro businesses. And because of that, the government has set aside specific programs designed to help micro small businesses so that we can grow and continue to add to this fact that over 50% of the employees in the United States are employed by small businesses. And so, and that is a very significant number. So basically it's small businesses that's generating economic growth and development in the United States. So you're very important, right? So going over a little bit more about the business structure, the basic business structure, basically you're either a sole proprietorship, right? You either have a sole proprietorship, which your business is you, or you have an entity, right? So one is, it doesn't matter if you start off as a sole proprietor, but eventually you want to build an entity that's separate from you, because reason being, as an entity, the liability, like say somebody get hurt in your business or anything like that, then the liability doesn't lie on you, right? It doesn't come on you, or your assets cannot be taken because you owe money or whatever. But as an entity, it's separate. So if anybody get hurt on your property, or there's anything that happens in your business where people feel like they need to sue you or anything, then it's an entity, right? We can always close an entity and start a brand new entity. That's why you see so many businesses, small businesses closing and starting again, right? It's because they set up an entity and they don't want it to affect their personal assets. Same thing as an S Corp and C Corp. These are just bigger entities, right? So business location, and again, I'm going over just that basic foundation, because these are the things that you have to have a strong foundation in your business, but also these things help you to generate or to grow and develop business credit, by which you can get capital funding for your business based on your business credit status, right? If that makes sense. Hi, Lisa, welcome to the call. So business location, having a business location is very important. Most people, sole proprietors, start their business at home with a home-based business, and that is okay. However, once you get into wanting to grow your business with business loans and business grants and business funding and business credit and all of those amazing things, you definitely want to eventually graduate to either having a business office, right, where there's a little bit of overhead, or if you don't want to take on any significant overhead, you definitely want to at least have a virtual office, which is like under $100 a month for an office space, like that's in a corporate, basically zip code, right? So that basically lets the funders know that you are a legitimate business that is not home-based, right? So that makes you low risk when it comes to going in the bank and asking for money for your business. It's low risk when asking for that initial $150,000, line of credit for your business, because, it's not a home-based business. So they look at it as an entity that's completely separate from a person. And so the risk is very low. Same thing with a business phone number. You definitely want to have a business, either cell phone number or a toll-free number that's separate from your own personal number. Reason being is the creditors, they know. The reason why I express creditors is because nobody can really stay in business without having being able to have the ability to leverage money from somebody else, right? It's better to spend somebody else's money than to spend your own money, right? So if you could put your business in a position to be able to get the loans and the funding that you need, you're going to be in a much better position, because now you don't have to worry about making money in your business just to pay your bills, right? So now you can pay yourself ahead of time and then just focus on growing your business. So that's why it's important to have these fundamental things in place. So getting listed in the 411 directory is free at listyourself.net. That is also a part of your business foundation that you should have in your business, so that you can show up in the search engines as a legitimate founded business, right? Instead of a person, and your address is showing up as a residential. So you want to get listed in the directory as well. All right, so all of these things that I've shared with you is pretty much is a part of building a valuable multi-million-dollar business. Why? Because having a multi-million-dollar business or a strong foundation can be a part of your exit strategy, right? You don't want to be in business that doesn't generate money, or a business that's going to continue to struggle because you have a weak foundation. So the reason why you want to have a strong foundation is because with those things that I said, you can build business credit, right? When you're building business credit and you have your vendor accounts, so they start with like, you know, giving you basically items or things that you need for your business and giving you like 60 to 90 days to pay that back, right? That helps you to grow as a business because you're not worried about, you know, at least you can flip, you know, or whatever, or have 90 days to pay it back. You don't have to worry about, oh, I got to hurry up and make this money, or I got to have the money in order to get what I need to make, you know, those. So it removes the barriers basically, right? So business credit is important, but also not only does it start with those vendor accounts, but it ends up allowing you to be able to get business credit cards, right? So those $50 to $150,000 credit cards as a business. So here we go with, I'm going to do a little illustration to show you. So if you had a sole proprietorship and you had a home-based business, when you go to apply for a business credit card, then you're going to have to put down your personal guarantee that you have good credit. And you have to have at least a personal credit score of at least 680 for you to get approved, right? But when you set your business up as an entity, a LLC or S Corp or something like that, then you're building business credit. You don't have to show your personal guarantee, right? Or your own personal social security number to get a yes. Okay. So, so not only do you, are you able to build business credit with the strong foundation, but you're able to get business loans. And then when you have vendor accounts, which is like the first three things that you want to have when you're building business credit, is you get a Paydex score, which is considered like your credit score or a FICO score, but it's for your business, right? So most people have been in business, you know, 3, 4, 5 years or what have you, and you don't even know that you have a Paydex score already. So if you have a bank account, the first day that you open a bank account, they're tracking you, right? So you already have a Paydex score, and what you want to do is you want to go to nav.com, nav.com, to find out, well, where do I stand on the Paydex score? Like, what is my Paydex score? How are the funders looking at me at this point? And you don't even know anything about, you may not even know anything about building business credit, but definitely Paydex score is your business score. And then, so once you have your vendor accounts, your credit cards, then there's, then it opens up the lines of revolving accounts, which is basically you can go into a bank if you have an entity established. You can go into a bank and say, oh, I need $150,000 for my business. And they will give it to you with 0% interest for the first 18 months. Most banks will do that. And then building a multi-million-dollar business encompasses having various streams of income or multiple streams of income, right? So all of these things is set up to make you profitable. So that is like the basics of business foundation that I wanted to cover. But also another step into your business foundation is branding your business. That's having a logo and a website, your business cards, and your social media handles. Like these are small, these seem like small, insignificant things, but it all matters, right? And these are the basic things that you will need. Like even when it's time to go get government contracts, they're going to look you up, right? So you want to have your business established. You want to be present on the web where they can look and see what type of services you provide. You know, how big is your business? What is your business structure and organization status and all of that stuff. So they want to know that. So most businesses start with a simple business plan. And I always say, like, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So a business plan is basically, in a nutshell, who am I? What do I provide? Who is my customer? And what makes me set apart from any other business like me. So that's your competitive advantage. Okay. And so those are pretty much the basic foundational aspects of a business. The next step is really just growing your business. When you think about growing your business, you want to think about think outside the box, right? I always tell people a part of growing your business is thinking outside the box. In how many ways can you make money doing what you do, right? For instance, I started off as a videographer, right? In my media company, I started off as a videographer, but because I already had a camera, I was like, oh, people were asking me, can I do photo services? Sure, yeah. Can I do websites? Yes, I can do that. Graphic design, yes. So in your business, you have to think outside the box because it's so very important when it comes to government contracts, which is what I'm about to get into very soon. You have to know what different services you provide as individual pieces, not well, I'm just a hairstylist, but this is just an example, or I'm just a childcare provider, but within my childcare, I provide nutritional services, I provide parental counseling services, I provide tutorial services. So you have to break out all of those services as individual pieces. The reason why is because it's very important when you're providing those services to the government, which is I'm going to share with you how you can break out those what you do into individual pieces and why it's so significant, because there's dollars that's tied to each individual service. So you don't want to lump it, right? You don't want to say, oh, I plan events, right? Within event planning, what do? I do decor, I do logistics or whatever those are. Those are all pools of money. So everything that you do, right, is all pools of money. Or I hire DJ services, all of that, there's dollars tied to it. So you want to know exactly what you do in your business. And so always think outside the box and don't just think linear one thing, right? So you have to be very creative in this aspect. All right, so growing your revenues with government contracts. All right, so this is the meat, right? This is the meat and potatoes of everything, right? So growing your business with government contracts, and I'm gonna just backtrack just a little bit. Like I said, when I was when I started my business, I was a struggling small business, right? So I didn't have a strong foundation. I didn't have those things. I didn't have business credit. I didn't know what none of that stuff was, right? So I was struggling to get customers on a consistent basis, okay? What I had to do was invest in knowledge and information to help me get out of the rut, right? So that I can find a way and a strategy that's going to help me grow my business, but also get consistent income so that I can stay self-employed and stay in business, right? And so this thing right here, getting certified for government contracts, was like the biggest, just epiphany that I've had, right? So this has helped me to go from a struggling business that was barely making $20,000 a year part-time to a business that generated my first $70,000 in 28 days for very part-time work. And so I have since grown significantly beyond that, and I'm still landing multiple six-figure contracts. And so I want to go over getting certified and what that is and what government contracts is, so that you can know that these things exist and it exists for you. And if it was possible for me, it's definitely possible for you. So small business certifications, the fact is every government agency, private corporation has an obligation to give a certain percentage of all their contracts to certified small businesses, okay? They consider this small business concerns. Women, minorities, disabled, vets, those are all small business concerns. So a certain percentage of all this trillions, excuse me, trillions of dollars has to go to certified small businesses. Excuse me for a second. So what does that mean for you? So typically any business that has under 50 employees, which most of us are solopreneurs, or it's just us and a partner, or maybe 2 or 3 people that are on your team. So if any business has under 50 employees and makes under 14 million, you're considered a small business, right? So the guidelines for micro small businesses is even much less. So I fall into the micro small business because it's just me. I'm a solopreneur, right? And that may be you. But the point of the story is, say for instance, Pacific Gas and Electric or the PG&E company procures or spends over 200 million per year for their services. Now, if they have a mandated goal, which every agency has a goal and is mandated by law to spend 6% to a certified woman-owned business, or a certified minority-owned business, that would mean that there's 12 million on the table for you. what do you have to do? Of course, you have to be certified as that. Now, when I say certified, I'm not talking about, I'm trying to see who's unmuted. Oh, Tisa. Okay, so when I say certified, I'm not talking about I got my business license, right? There's a difference. And I talk to so many people that are small business, and I'm like, do you have it, are you certified? Yeah, I got my business license, So there is a difference, right? So you get your business license, but you also have to have a certification that says I'm a woman, I'm a minority, I'm a disabled vet, right? So those categories, whatever category you fit in, I'm a disadvantaged business, right? So they have different types of certifications, and I'm going to cover like some of the basics, right? So you have to be certified in order to participate in that. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to how do you discover your industry? How do you look up the different services? There's codes. So remember when I said that you have to break out your services and not just one thing, and not just look at your business as you just do one thing. So you have to break out exactly every aspect of your business, every service that you provide, everything that you do, right? So I'm going to share, let me see how else. I need to switch my screen up. I'm going to share with you guys. This website is called NAICS. It's NAICS.com, NAICS.com. And this is how you find your industry code or your service codes, whatever services it is that you provide. So let's just say I'm an event planner, since I know that we have an event planner on here. So there's some code. If you put in event planner, there's some codes that come up. So you have to look at, well, out of these codes, how many, what do I do in event planning? So promoters, arts, sports, whatever, an events manager with facilities. Do you have a facility? Do you do trade shows? Are you a do you do investment advice? So event planning, you have to look up what your code is. So this is a basic code, basically. Sometimes there's more than one, and you may fall into multiple categories, conventions and trade shows. So you definitely want to, copy and paste every single code that's relevant to what you do, right? So let's just say in event planning, you do logistics, right? I know that that's a huge thing. So you have to look that up, right? So don't just look up event planning. You want to look up whatever it is that you do, logistics, or if you do catering, all of those things, there's codes, right? So you want to write down every single code that you do. Let me see who else is on here. So if you provide, I'm trying to look it up by who's on the call, so it could be very relevant. So I see Kiana on here. Okay, so if you provide insurance services, right? Insurance services, there's codes to that. What kind of insurance services do you provide? So there's life insurance agencies, there's disability insurance, there's a whole bunch of different types of insurance, collection agencies, whatever, right? So you want to look up exactly what you do, but also within what you do, you want to look up what products you serve, what other services you have within that. So like I gave the example about the childcare service provider, right? If I look up childcare, right? I don't know what this, why is that popping up like that? Okay, so if I look up childcare, okay, so we have child daycare services, all right? Child and youth services, that's for foster parents, right? So you'd have to write down that code. So if you, that code. So if you do home health care services, or you have an adult care service, all of that stuff, you have to look up those codes. But also within childcare, do you provide nutrition? You feed the kids? Yeah. So you have to think outside the box. That's a service, right? Nutrition services. Do you do tutorial? You help them with their homework? All of that stuff. Did I spell it wrong? Tutorial. Okay, so do you do tutorial or educational? I don't know what's going on with this website. It's doing something weird, but educational support services or whatever it is, right? Let's see. Tutoring. Let's see. There we go. Tutorial services. So you have to write down all those codes, all right? So that's a part of just discovering your industry codes. So whatever, so if you're on a computer and you have an opportunity, or if you have a way to look this up live, look it up. You know, while we're on the call, write those codes down. So next we're gonna go through, so that's step one. So step two is how we're gonna use those codes to discover how much the government spends, all right? So you have those codes, right? So next we're gonna look up those codes and see how much the government is spending on those codes in particular. And I must say, you better hold on to your seats, because you're gonna be very shocked at some of the money that's being spent by government agencies. So this is like considering the agencies as a client, a top paying client that will pay you top dollars for your services. So what we're gonna do is go over to usaspending.gov, right? So you have those codes that we just looked up. So you want to do an award search, and I would say do an advanced award search for 2018, 2017. This is a part of market research, right? This is how you find out how much they spent in the past 2 years. But you also want to include the current year, because you want to look at how much is still left on the table based on the trends, right? Or how much is going to be available before the end of the quarter, right? So, and then I'm going to go back over and I'm going to capture this code for event planners. So I'm going to look at that up, right? So I'm going to capture the code, and then I'm going to plug it down here where it says NAICS code. That's exactly where it goes, because it's the NAICS code, right? So I'm plug that in, and I'm gonna submit search. So here we have a list of awards, which are contracts specifically for event planners, right? These are the recipients, and you can be one of these recipients, right? So these are the recipients that receive federal contracts, because this is for USA spending. So this is for the federal level of contracts. So these are the recipients that are receiving contracts. These are the contract terms. This is a 1-year contract, 22 million. How many of event planners out there that you know of that are small businesses that are getting 22 millions, right? So entertainment marketing, this is another firm. This is a 8-month contract, 3 million, right? So this is huge. So, and I could get even more granular, and I'm gonna look it up by recipient type. I wanna look up for minority owned business, right? Out of that, we're gonna do a search for just minorities. Okay, so being that we are all minorities on this call, Entertainment Marketing Group is a minority firm, right? And they're receiving for 7 months of services, 3 million. Okay, this company right here this is about almost a year of service, or a little over a year, 764,000. These are huge clients, right? This is good money, right? So this is a 4-month contract for 35,000. I mean, that's big. This is just one client, right? So how many, and these are not like jobs, right? So it's not 9 to 5s, it's provide a service, right? This is an event, plan an event, right? So these are huge numbers, right? So, and then I want to look it up by just women, right? Women-owned businesses. How much are these contracts worth for women? So these are all businesses that are owned by women. So here we go. This is a 1 year, a little over 1 year, 764,000. 3-year contracts, 234,000. Like some of these is just like not even a year, 87,000. I mean, these are huge numbers, right? So this 1 month, okay? So August 24th, 2018 to September 17th, 2018, this is like a month for $43,000. So this is just how I was able to land for just a month of services, a $70,000 contract. So you see how easy that was, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna keep it on, I'm gonna just keep it on women and minorities. Women and minority firms. And I'm gonna take a time trip to see how much is spent with women and minorities over time, right? Over the past 2 years, 3 years. So in 2017, 388 million. So these are millions. Like if you look at the numbers over here, it has M. $388 million was spent with women and minority firms. 2018, Wait, what's this? No, 388,000. I'm sorry. And then basically 1 million, right, was spent in 2018. And then 4.2 million. So in this year alone, it's significantly grown. So if I look at the fact that it's growing between 2017 and 2019, that means in 2020, there's opportunities, right? There's a lot of opportunities. So even if I just took off those recipient types, these are just general, basic, small business numbers. Let me see. I want to take off let me see, the recipient types, and this is the code. All right, here we go. So 1.2 million. So most of the contracts went to women and minorities. In 2018, 23 million. In 2019, this is just general small businesses. It's not women or minorities, just general, just everybody, right? This is a lot of money that's on the table. And as you can see in 2019, there's this gap right here. There's a gap. But most of these contracts right here, if you look at what we just saw when it comes to women and minorities, most of those contracts and these numbers right here went to women and minority firms. That means the government is doing their job, right? However, they're still short. They're still short because there's not enough women getting certified and saying, I'm a woman business owner and I want a piece of this contract, right? There's not enough minorities that know about certifications that's getting certified, that's saying, I'm a minority and I want a piece of this contract, but they have these opportunities out here for you. All right. So the next thing I want to do is I want to go through, let me see where I am in my slides. Okay. Yeah. So the next thing I want to go through is where to find opportunities. Where do we find these opportunities, right? And this is just one of many sites where you can go to find opportunities, okay? USA spending. So where you go to find opportunities, fbo.gov. That's it. Federal Bureau of Opportunities.gov. So fbo.gov. So this is one site. Like I said, this is just federal funding, right? But remember, there's federal, state, and then local. Okay, so this is just opportunities on the federal site. So if you go to fbo.gov, you can actually look up, you can just, without even putting in your code, your NAICS code, you could just look up contract opportunity. All of these are contract opportunities. And they'll have the date that it was posted. And if it's a set aside, which means that if it's for a woman or minority business or disabled vet, it'll say here, right? It'll tell you what it is. Like this one is a set aside for a woman-owned small business. And they have things like parking space. I mean, it's just ridiculous, the things that you will find in here. I mean, you could find anything from washing windows to washing, concretes and to everything. But if you want to do an advanced search, you can actually go over to advanced search and you can look up your code in this area and then just do, like, you can click search, or you can put in like your state. Like if I want to put in California for events planning, and then I would do a search to see if there's any opportunities there. That particular code, let me see. Let me go back. Hold on. Sometimes, these federal sites like really be tripping. Let me do it clear. All right. So if I put event planning, let's just put it there, right? So, and sometimes this website is a little bit weird, but how about I put janitorial or something like that, right? So here we go, janitorial supplies. Sometimes you could put it in the keywords. Sometimes you could put it in the area for NAICS code under advanced search. But these websites are a little bit weird sometimes. But as you can see, there's opportunities, and this is how you look it up. So basically, fbo.gov is where you go to find opportunities. And here we have Janitorial services. So how many small businesses do you know that provide janitorial services? So this is an award that was set aside for an Indian small business, right? That means an Indian janitorial business owner said, I'm doing my certifications and I'm an Indian. I'm a Native American, right? So this contract was set aside specifically for him. Let's look at the amount that was awarded, $20,000, right? So this was a set aside for a Native American business because they want to stimulate economic development for that particular group. These are opportunities that they have set aside for other groups as well. So let's see what else. Woman-owned, okay? Gun range cleaning. This is September 12th. It's out right now, and the response date isn't until September 16th, which is like in a few days, right? So that means there's a woman-owned business who can apply for this or submit their quote for services and land this contract. But if you don't know it exists, then you never go after it. And then they'll just say no response, right? They'll just put it out as no response. So anyway, in a nutshell, I just wanted to show you how that all works, how to find your industry code, how much the government spends on your industry based on those codes, and also where to go to find opportunities. And that is one of many sites. So once you get certified, you'll actually start receiving opportunities via email based on your registration, right? Based on you, because you're certified, you raised your hand, now they'll start sending you opportunities and leads. But there's also like state agency websites, local city and county websites as well. So what are the different types of certifications? So there's local, which is the city and county that you live in. That's a local certification. There's regional, the state that you live in. That's a state certification. And then there's federal. There's a federal certification for everybody that lives in the United States. And so what I just showed you was like the federal funding contracts and opportunities, but there's also opportunities here, local and regional as well. So the different types of certifications there are is like your local certifications. Just like you can say, well, I'm a minority business owner. You can say I'm a local business owner to your city, right? Your city and county. I'm a local business owner. And they have contracts that are set aside specifically for local businesses only, okay? I'm a minority business owner. MBE, SBE, micro SB, which is a micro small business. That's a state certification. And then there's the SBA has the economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business certification, which is a self-certification that you do on their website. And it just says basically, I'm economically disadvantaged and I'm a woman, right? So that's a certification. There's set aside contracts specifically for that. There's also the LGBT certification. So you can get certified if you're a part of that group. And then they have contracts that are specifically set aside for those groups. So the reason why they do this is because these are traditionally groups that have been marginalized and don't have a lot of opportunities like non-minority businesses, right? So that's why the government has set aside these particular contracts so that they can have diversity with their funding, with their spending, but also that they feel like they're doing something, you know, for those groups that have been marginalized and are at a disadvantage. So what you need to do to get certified, here are some of the things that you need. Remember that business foundation that I went over, why I said it was so very important for you to have that foundation, not only so that you're not sinking as a business, but so that you can leverage it as a vehicle to build business credit, to get business lending, all of those great things. But you also have to have those things anyway in order to do business with the government, right? You have to have an EIN, right? You have to have a Dun and Brad number, right? So they can track how much federal dollars is going to your business. And then so that you can qualify for federal grants and all of that stuff, right? You also have to have 2 years of business taxes. Now, if you have not been in business for 2 years, you can still apply for certifications with your personal taxes. They just basically want to see that you're not already a millionaire. So these programs are set aside to help those businesses that are barely making it, that are, you know, making under 14 million, right? So they're set aside to help you get to that so that you can be more competitive in the marketplace. You have to have a business license. So you can't just be a freelancer saying I do this and you don't have your foundation set, you don't have a business license with the city and county that you live in. Your lease agreement, like, remember when I talked about the virtual business office? So you can either have a business office, or if you're a sole proprietor, you can have, use your home address. You have a home office. That's okay. Birth certificate proves that you are a minority. Your ID and driver's license basically proves who you are. And then a profit and loss statement is basically, in this 1 year, this is what I've made. This is what I spent out, and this is my end result. Okay. You also have to have a business bank account. So when you open your business bank account, they have you sign a signature card. That card is what you need to submit for your certification. Right. And then these other two things, like if you have an articles, if you have a corporation or an LLC, then you of course have a copy of your articles of incorporation that you have to submit as documentation. So you need those things. All right. So if you didn't catch that, I do have a free qualifications list that has all of those things on it that you can actually download. And you would go to bit.ly/$1 trillion checklist, right? So you know exactly what you need to qualify for government contracts. And on this list, it basically tells you that government contracts is a great way for you to grow your business with consistent, sustainable income that you can scale, because there's no limit to how many contracts you can have, but you definitely don't want to take on more than you have the capacity to fulfill, right? It's also a great way to secure large 5 to 6 figure contracts with these top paying clients without spending any time on social media. So you don't have to create sales and discounts to try to, convince people to use your service, right? So you don't have to do any of that stuff. That it doesn't work, right? It doesn't work for sustainability or consistency. But as you can see, none of those contracts was $500, $600, $700, $1,000. Those were 5 to 6 figure contracts, and they get larger, right? They get larger than that depending on what it is that you do. I've actually seen a few contracts out there for the services that you all provide, like especially for events, like that's 6 figures all day per event, right? I see that all the time. It helps you to effectively market your business to a market that's already purchasing your services, right? And you don't have to have a marketing budget to market your business. So once you say, I'm a woman-owned minority business, I'm a disadvantaged business, all of those things, right? You're already in a pool and a database to where they're spending money on your services. And now you just have to let them know that you exist, right? You just have to get on their database and let them know that you're interested in this opportunity, period. It's just that easy. So getting certified, some of the type of agencies, and I want to keep track of time. Oh, okay. I'm almost done, you guys. So some of the type of agencies that you can do business with are like, if you do like accounting or payroll services, like financial literacy, like the city treasurer, like the fire department, if you sell clothes or equipment or all of those things. If you have literacy programs, the Unified School District, even janitorial services, right? Even supplies like paper, pencils, lighting, fixtures, all of those things. Like, so it's just really thinking outside the box and understanding that you don't have to be a teacher to do business with the school district, right? So that's just in a nutshell. BART, believe it or not, they have a $56 million or billion, basically 56 or something $billion budget that they recently just locked in for small businesses that they want to do business with. So that includes like electrical services, small contractors, professional service providers, public outreach, communications, like all of those things, even catering services, like all of that. So all of these companies, all of these agencies, and there's a million agencies across the US, they have programs designed to help women and minority business owners, right? So it's just about that knowledge and knowing and understanding and how to position yourself to be able to bid on those contracts. So you have to get certified. And then I just included, like, there's also like some corporate contracts that you can get through corporations, which is outside of government contracts, that has similar programs to government contracts, but they're called supplier diversity. So basically they have a goal to spend money with diverse businesses that are women and minorities and disabled vets and struggling business. So they have a similar service. So there's opportunities out there. If you really just understand that they exist, you can position yourself to win. So I want to say, was this helpful? I don't see a chat box, but I just wanted to know, hopefully this was helpful. Give me a thumbs up if this was helpful. Yeah, so great. I'm glad I'm able to help you with this information, because this is how, I've been able to scale my business and stay in business for over 10 years, right? And so a lot of small business owners, they don't even know that this stuff exists. I've become a self advocate of just letting them know, hey, look, this is what I'm doing. Like, you don't have to be a struggling business. You can really gain a client that will pay you 5 to 6 figures to really grow and scale your business. So this is for you if you have a small business and you're struggling to get regular paying customers, right? Or, oh, I do have a chat box. Okay, let me see. Let me see if I can see it. I see somebody sent a note, but I'm trying to see if I can see it. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's kind of, thank you, Kiana. So I do have a chat box. I wasn't sure if there was a chat box, but there is a chat box. So let me know if it was helpful for you, So if you're also finding yourself creating sales and discounts to try to convince customers to buy from you, then this is for you, because you don't have to do all of that, right? You don't have to create sales and specials and be on social media trying to sell your brand and spending hours that doesn't generate income, right? All you have to do is position yourself, certify your business, and land those contracts. It's so much easier because they're already spending money. They're already your customer. You just don't know it, right? So if you're in business for yourself, but you haven't found a way to generate consistent income, then this is definitely something that you want to take a look at. Thank you, Serena. You're struggling to find top paying clients who pay top dollars. I know so many Pookie and Ray Rays, at least that's what I call them, that want the hookup all the time, and they want to undervalue and underpay you for your services and for your worth, right? So these are agencies that's not going to do that. As you can see, they pay 5 to 6 figures, right? They already have budgets that are obligated, and that is quote unquote obligated. And truly, they are on a mission. And like, we're at the end quarter, right? So we're at the end of the government's fiscal quarter. So they're like, oh, we have millions, that we have not given away in contracts that we have not found any businesses to do business with or whatever, or nobody has come to us and say, oh, I want that contract. And so they're really looking for people right now. So that's how you start getting your emails flooded at the end of the year, which is last minute opportunities. And so, but if you're not in their system, there's no way for them to even know that you exist. All right. So does this make sense for you?
Yes, it helped me a lot. It helped. I didn't know as much information as you provided, so I'm gonna do a lot of looking into everything that you shared.
Yeah.
Reach out to you.
Okay. All right. So I'm almost done. I'm actually just gonna just touch base on like my my program. So like, if this is something that you're interested in implementing on, into your business, I do have a small group coaching program where it's called the $1 Trillion Government Contracts Accelerator, where I help you implement the exact strategy into your business, where you learn to land these 5 to 6 figure contracts that are basically 20,000 and above per contract, where and you get step-by-step guidance. It's a 6-week program. You have my personal accountability, and basically, you're qualified to start bidding in the next 60 to 90 days if this is something that you want to look at. So basically, in this program, you go from like a stressed out Susie who is struggling to get customers to a happy Hannah who qualified her business as a woman minority firm and is now in the database of government agencies. So if you're interested in learning more and you want to know specific for your business, then you can definitely hop on, a strategy call with me at calendly.com. And I'm going to type it in the chat box. Calendly.com/she's got goals. Calendly.com/she's got goals. And I'll be happy, to get on a call with you. Actually, I mistyped that. She's got goals. And I'll be happy, to get on a call with you to share more about how you implement this strategy for your business.
Okay.
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 All right. So if you didn't have any other questions or any questions at all, then thank you so much for you know, for being on the call. I appreciate you.
All right. Thank you too, Karwana.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Oh, wait. There are some other people.
Oh, yeah, that's us. We're still here.
Oh, I didn't even know you guys were. I was looking. I was like, wait, did everyone?
Oh, yes, a whole bunch of us still.
Yeah, it's a bunch of us still here.
For some reason, like I could not see you guys. I was just like, why am I just talking to Tisa? So anyway, all right. So yeah. So basically, in this program, I help you go from like stressed out Susie, who's pulling her hair out, trying to figure things out, you know, creating sales and discounts, to, you know, a happy Hannah who's basically qualified her business as a woman minority business. She's in the database of several government agencies and landing multiple 5 to 6 figure contracts, right? So the transformation, basically, by the time you complete my program, you'll know the full ins and outs of government contracts. As you can see, there's a lot, right? There's a lot that goes to it, and there's a lot of nuances. But for small businesses, you know, you don't have to have much experience at all. In fact, when I first landed my contract, I had absolutely no experience. And I have gone on to land multiple since then. So your business will be officially certified as a woman or minority small business owners at the end of the program. You'll also learn how to research your market so you can know exactly how much the government spends on you, on your services across the local, state, and federal levels. And then you'll know where to find contracting opportunities and how to bid on them, right? Exactly how to bid on them. So you'll understand the lingo and understanding reading and what they're asking for, right? And then your business will be entered, of course, into all the databases so that these agencies, even now, they know that you exist. They'll start sending you opportunities. So you'll have the complete marketing strategy to identify specific agencies that purchases your services. And then you'll also know how to market your business to agencies in a language that they understand, because it's a lingo, right? And then you'll know how to read and write proposals to land these 5 to 6 figure contracts, because there's so many small businesses that they don't know how to read these and respond to these proposals, right? So my group coaching program is $29.97, but because you guys are here today on a free live training, I am offering a special promotion of $19.97. But there's 2 options that you can, you know, enroll in the program. If you want my help, you can definitely take everything that you've learned today and implement it yourself and try to figure it out on your own as well. But if you want my help, I do walk with you over the next 6 weeks side by side to implement the full complete strategy. So by the time you're done with the program, you're actually just bidding on contracts, and that's just a rinse and repeat process. After that, just bidding on contracts and landing them, right? So the next, basically, I'll say 60 to 90 days, you'll just be full flow bidding on contracts. And then we do have financing options available, so where you can either pay in full or you can apply for financing on my website. So you'll basically be going to be a happy Hannah who's qualified her business over the next 6 weeks. If you're interested in joining my program, this is where you go to get it or to enroll. It's at bit.ly, bit.ly / the $1 trillion GCA Accelerator. So that stands for the $1 trillion Government Contracts Accelerator. So $1 trillion GCA Accelerator is where you go to enroll in the program. Let me see if I can mute. Okay, because I know I heard somebody in the background. All right. So then also, the next session starts starting October 7th. So this is open enrollment. So we're opening enrollment from September 14th, and then the cart closes on September 28th. So if you're interested in actually enrolling in the upcoming program, then this is the time frame that you have. And I also want to reward those action takers, those ones that are like, hey, I want to get started with this thing. I'm ready to take my business to the next level. You know, where do I get started? If you know, where do I get started? Let's do this thing, right? So I'm rewarding action takers. So the first 5 people that enroll in the program is actually going to get it for the $19.97. After that, the price does go back up to the $29.97. That's just to let you know. So if you want to know more, if you want to speak with me, if you want to know if you're a good fit for the program, or if you're just kind of on the fence and you don't really know if you want to be the happy Hannah just yet, you can definitely schedule a free contracts discovery session with me at calendly.com/she's got goals, and I'll be happy to walk you through, making sure your business is a good fit for my program. That's pretty much it, but I did want to open it up to questions to see if you guys had any questions at all about what I just shared with you. And then if this was helpful for you, I just want to know, like, what was most helpful. Let me see. And I'm trying to figure out this little technology thing, y'all, so bear with me. Okay, so I have you unmuted. And I wanted to know from you what was most helpful.
The certification, the listing of them, and know how we can make ourselves the government contract.
Yes.
Very important. But we're definitely interested in and go ahead and walk in the process with you. But I have two real quick questions. What we're talking about today. One existing business that I think would do some things on the legal side.
No, I was just asking, are you on like two different devices? Because it was like echoing for a minute.
No, we're on Amir's phone. My phone died.
Okay, go ahead.
With the Paydex score, I wanted to get the proper website to research that on my own.
Okay, yeah, nav.com. I'm going to drop it in the chat box. So nav.com, that's the free website.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go there. When you sign up for a free account, it'll actually show you what your score is and where you stand as far as business credit. So for some of you, like the business foundation that I covered, you may already have those things and don't even know that you have a business Paydex score or whatever, or maybe it was a audit, for you to be able to see what you need to actually add to your business, because it's never too late to go ahead and get your foundation up to where it needs to be.
Gotcha. And the second question was the listing of the businesses with 411 and Google and all that. Is it a cost associated with that, or is that free as well?
That's all free. Yep. List yourself, submit your business to Google. All of those things are free.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Amir. I say Shonda, thank you for coming to the call. Did you have any questions, Shonda or Danielle or Heidi? Was that helpful? Then Danielle and Heidi?
It was very helpful. I don't have any questions because you explained everything very thoroughly. But it was helpful because I had no idea that that type of government contract was available to all the professions that we did. And I know that there's more, but I started thinking about things that Danielle and I have talked about and set a goal, like, oh, maybe in 10 years, like we want to purchase our own venue spot. Yeah. So that, and so that kind of information, I was just able to see the bigger picture be more clear and more real rather. So
yeah, absolutely. So thank you.
So thank you.
You're welcome. That was Heidi. Kiana.
I was just gonna make a comment. I'm so glad that I had a chance to listen to you, Caruana. I've been wanting to do it for a while now, but I think everything that you presented was great. It was great information, very helpful. I was writing down just people that I know who actually also need to hear this information. I think for me, with working in local government and being on the other side, it was even more of an eye-opener to me on how important this information is, that we get this information out. I mean, I sit in bids all the time for public works, but I never really thought about it from the standpoint that you're talking about, from small business owners. And I know that that's something that government is looking for. They are looking for women-owned, minorities, small business owners. It's something that they are searching for. So this was absolutely great. I'll be in contact.
Thank you. Okay. So thank you, Kiana. Serena.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So how was that helpful for you?
Each and every time I listen to you is very helpful. Based on our past conversation, I think the next step for me is to get financing with you through Square.
Okay. Okay. So the website, the bit.ly $1 trillion GCA, that website actually has, you just click on the link for Square to apply. Yeah. I'm actually gonna type the link as well here for people. $1 trillion GCA accelerator. Okay, there you go. All right, so let me see. I don't want to miss anybody. I think I got everybody covered that I asked questions. Thank you, Tisa, for staying on. For some reason, I thought you were the only person that stayed on. I was like, wait, I only see her name. Okay, so I think we covered everybody. Danielle, Heidi, Kiana, Serena, Amir, Shonda. I didn't get a chance to hear from you, but if you're able to, to share, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now. Okay, yeah.
This is Shonda. Can you hear Shonda?
I can hear you, Shonda. Yeah.
I'm upset. I just got on and I missed everything.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. So I'm gonna actually, I have to clean up the recording, but I did record it. So if you received an email, did you receive an email to join, or were you on Facebook?
Yeah, I received an email to join, and I've been checking throughout the day, and I'm on the East Coast, so I got my times mixed up.
Oh, okay, I got you. So yeah, no worries. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take the recording and clean it up a little bit and just send it out for people who weren't able to join us. So you'll be able to get it if you're on the email list. You'll definitely get the
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry you.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, so you guys, I did post into the chat box the link to the $1 trillion government contracts and accelerator enrollment page. You can actually go on there to either enroll in a program to make a one-time payment, or you can apply for financing, or you can also just click on my calendar that's in the chat box, thecalendly.com/she's got goals to schedule a contracts discovery session if you have more questions, or if you want to know specifically some more things that might be pertaining to your business. So thank you so much for joining, and absolutely, I look forward to, helping you guys get this transformation for your business, because it's definitely something that's possible. It's helped me. Actually, I've recently landed my first 6-figure contract. After years of trying to figure out everything, I went from a 5-figure contract lander, if that's a word, to landing 6 figures now. So I'm really excited about the opportunity and the transformation that it can bring for you and your business, and what it can mean for you, especially as a woman and minority small business owners, because there's opportunities out there. There are already clients that you don't have to convince, right, to purchase with you. All you have to do is just let them know that you exist, and then bid on the opportunities that they have available. So if there's no more questions, thank you guys. Have a wonderful night. And I look forward to working with you in the future. Bye.
Thank you so much, Carmana. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.